military leadership, base security. A red team drill that wasn't. When Mia Watson is told you can't enter here, she becomes the one voice the base can't run without. Stay, this faceless story turns a denial at the gate into a blueprint for non-kinetic victory. You can't enter here. The sentence hit like a rubber bullet. It didn't kill. It bruised. Mia Watson stood with a paper folder pressed to her chest. The folder was soft at the corners from too many buses, too much rain. Her empty wallet lay inside, thin as a blade. A broken watch sat on her wrist, frozen at 07:13 from the day her father didn't come home. She still wore it. Time should answer for what it steals. The guard barely looked up. He had a shaved head, clean boots, and the calm of a man with a shift that would end on time. Orders, Mia said. Consultant. Cyber range today, he pointed at the sign. Bold letters, restricted, authorized personnel only. She smiled, but her jaw was tight. Authorize me. Behind him, the base spread like a puzzle only the sky understood. Radar domes. A gray hangar. A line of trucks that looked identical until you noticed one had a dent over the left rear light. She always noticed the dent. She always noticed the thing everyone had learned to ignore. You're not on the list, the guard said. Ma'am? He added the polite word like a bandage over a cut he didn't mean to make. She took out a letter. One sheet, a name, a signature, a number that started with TSSCI. The ink had bled where she'd gripped it in the rain last night. She had dried it under the heat vent of a bus bathroom, while two women argued outside about a charger. The guard didn't touch the paper. A lot of printers in the world, he said. There are fewer of these, she said, and recited a code that wasn't in the letter. He didn't flinch, but his thumb twitched near the radio. Still can't let you in, he said. You understand. Not really, Mia said. She watched a pair of officers stride through the gate. They returned her glance. Then they looked away. That was the trick with uniforms. They made it easy to file people into drawers. Call the operations office, she said. Ask for Colonel Bray. Silver cloud slid across the sun. It turned the base into a washed-out photograph. The dusty road outside the fence swallowed a gust of grit, and it stuck to her lips. She didn't wipe it away. The taste of dust proved she was still here. The guard glanced at her watch. He noticed the crack. It's broken, he said. It's honest, she said. He picked up the phone. He listened. He didn't speak. Then he hung up, and his composure shifted 1 inch to the left. It was barely visible, but she measured inches for a living. One of the colonels is en route, he said. Wait here. She stepped back out of the shadow of the gatehouse. The breeze lifted her hair. The chain-link fence buzzed, a trapped hum in the metal. Somewhere past the fuel tanks, a klaxon sounded once, then stopped. Mia stretched the fingers of her left hand. On the index finger, a callus from years on a rifle she hoped she'd never have to fire again. On the middle finger, an ink stain she couldn't scrub out after one long night with a case file. She flexed the hand and remembered the day her father made her an omelet after her first marksmanship badge. He had put too much pepper. He had laughed at his own mistake. A week later, he put on his uniform and walked into a mission that did not have an omelet at the end. A dark sedan rolled up. The passenger door opened. A woman stepped out, gray suit, black hair and a clean bun. No badge visible, but the guard stood straighter. You could smell rank before you could read it. Mia Watson? The woman said. Yes. I'm Deputy Director Ames. The woman's eyes flicked to the folder. Walk with me. They walked through the gate. Nobody stopped them. Mia didn't look at the guard. Not to punish him. To keep him from seeing the relief on her face. Inside the fence, the air changed. It smelled like solvent and last night's coffee. A drone crossed their path, carried by 2 airmen. It had tape on one wing. Field repair, quick fix. As they passed the hangar, a young captain glanced at Mia, then at Ames, then away. The glance said, you're new. The second glance said, you're a problem. The third glance he swallowed because the woman beside Mia was a bigger problem. Ames spoke without moving her lips much. You were late. You were early, Mia said. I was exactly right. Ames didn't smile. You have something we need. Is it the same thing you told the colonel I had? Mia asked. Ames stopped. I told him you had edge. Edge is a word people use when they mean something without paperwork. The deputy director tilted her head. You don't like my word choice. I like precision, Mia said. Edge is a knife. I'm more of a lockpick. Then pick this one, Ames said and nodded toward a steel door with a keypad. 2 soldiers stood aside when Ames lifted her wrist. The light stayed red. Ames didn't enter a code. The door opened from the inside, a hallway. Low ceilings. The color of waiting rooms. In the conference room at the end, a screen glowed with a map of the desert. Red pins, blue ringed zones. Between them, thin lines like veins. We were told no civilians, a colonel muttered. I was told no amateurs, Mia said, and set her folder on the table. Across the glass, a pair of eyes watched her, a mirror that wasn't a mirror. Ms. Watson, Ames said. You have 10 minutes, Mia opened the folder. 3 items, a cracked phone, a printed chat log, a photograph of a child's bracelet. You can't enter here, the guard had said. She placed the bracelet by the map, tiny silver beads, one missing, leaving thread exposed like a cut nerve. Tell me, Ames said, how did you find this network? I didn't find a network, Mia said and touched the crack on the phone. I found a person who thought they were alone, the colonel snorted. Feelings won't stop rockets. No, Mia said. But feelings pick the targets. On the wall, a light blinked. Another door opened. Boots in the corridor. The room gathered itself like a breath before a shout. A major stuck his head in. His face was the color of bad news. Ma'am, he said to Ames. We have movement, unscheduled. 2 trucks rolling out of red sector. And there's something else. What? Ames asked. They just sent a text to our decoy account, he said. 3 words, he swallowed. Everyone waited. He read them aloud. You can't enter. The room fell quiet. Enter where? Ames said. The major's next words dragged a chill into the room and left it there. Command says, our base. And before anyone could exhale, the lights went out. Darkness is honest. It tells you exactly what you can't see. The room swallowed its own hum. Screens went black. The map vanished. Someone knocked a coffee cup. It rolled and found the floor with a hollow sound. Then the backup power coughed awake. Emergency strips along the floor glowed a faint path. The screens remained dead, Ames spoke. Calm. Like the dark had always been the plan. Isolate the network. Shut external ports. Move to line of sight comms. The major was already on a field phone, voice clipped. Grid Alpha, copy. The colonel moved to the window. The parade ground stretched into a shape made of guesses. 2 points of light bounced. Headlamps, far fence line. 2 trucks? Mia said. The major nodded, though she could barely see him. Maintenance livery. But those IDs were retired last quarter. They're inside the fence, the colonel said. Who cleared that? Whoever sent the text, Mia said. Meaning? Ames asked. Mia pointed at the emergency strips. The room turned into a river of faint light, meaning this isn't a brute force attack. It's a borrowed key. The message is a lullaby. What kind of lullaby says you can't enter? The colonel snapped. The kind that says the door isn't the door, Mia said. Call the gate captain. Ask him who entered the old IDs in the system. We can't call anyone, the major said. Comms are segmented. That was step 1 of the lockdown. Radio nets only. Then run, Mia said. No one laughed. The word dropped onto the table and stayed. It felt like a dare. Run where? The colonel asked. The dusty road by the south fence, Mia said. She tasted grit again or just memory. If the IDs are old, the trucks will aim for old habits. That road hides you from 3 towers. The 4th is blind when the floodlight kicks. The motion sensor is on a delay. The major stared. How do you know that? Because dust tells the truth, Mia said. You have new concrete everywhere except there. Ames glanced at her, then at the door. Take Alpha Team, now. The major moved. Boots thudded toward the hallway. The emergency strips pulsed. The colonel closed his hands into fists and opened them. We should lock this facility, he said. Panic button. Lock doors to stop ghosts? Mia asked. This isn't a burglary. It's a test. By whom? Ames asked. Mia tapped the phone in the folder. The cracked screen made a pale star. By whoever took this from a boy who loved rockets. It wasn't the time for biographies, but sometimes the only door is the one you make. The phone belonged to a teenage cadet whose mother cleaned offices on the base. He had found a forum. The forum had found him. Codes dressed as riddles. Tasks that looked like games. A kid with a mind that ran fast and a father who had left faster. They had praised him. Then they had paid him. Then they had asked for a small thing. Then another. Then his screen filled with a message he didn't understand, but he was already inside. He passed a threshold. He didn't know which one. Explain. Ames said. Whoever built the on-ramp into your systems didn't breach your firewall, Mia said. They seeded a dozen small favors into 12 people with access. One didn't look left. One didn't check a serial number. One forwarded a test file to the wrong inbox. All loyal, all tired. All certain that a small favor could do no harm. The colonel's face was stone. You're saying our people did this. I'm saying your people are people, Mia said. And someone is good with that. Across the base, a siren bit the night, then died. The backup power fed into a single projector. It flickered. A map blinked into life. Not the desert, the base, lines of sight, timers. Ames nodded toward the door. We move this to Ops 2. That room breathes better. They moved through the hall like a small river. Soldiers stepped aside. A corporal with a headset touched the earpiece and met Mia's eyes for half a second. He looked away. Strangers weren't a luxury. Ops 2 had air that smelled colder. A server rack sighed like an anxious animal. A table, a wall of radios. A metal cabinet that had dented corners and a sticker of a cartoon cat. Someone had stuck it there under stress and never removed it. Mia found that detail comforting. People stay human even under fluorescent lights. Alpha Team reports sight on the trucks, the major said from the far radio. They're creeping along south fence. IDs match maintenance. Plates don't. Pursue? The colonel asked. Observe, Mia said. If you spook them, they'll burn whatever they carried. What do you think they carried? Ames asked. A rehearsal, Mia said. Script notes. The colonel let out air slowly. This is a lot of guessing. This is a lot of reading, Mia said. She pointed to the corner of the room. A mop leaned in a bucket, still wet. Someone was told to clean after midnight. They never do. Why tonight? It's been a mess, the major said. We've been drilling for 3 days. Then nobody scheduled it, Mia said. That means the schedule scheduled itself. Watch for the moment when the base acts like it's certain of something no person decided. The radio crackled. Alpha Team. Truck 2 just slowed. Back gate camera down. We still have line of sight through scope 1. Show me scope 1, Ames said. A monitor warmed to life. Grainy. The truck looked tired. The driver wore a hat brim low. The passenger tapped a restless rhythm on the door. The pattern was odd. 3 taps, pause. 2, pause. 3. The kind of pattern a scared person adopts to feel less alone. Zoom the passenger, Mia said. The image thickened. A young face. Barely 20. Cheeks too smooth. The brim hid the eyes, but the mouth said panic. That's a kid, the colonel muttered. They like kids, Mia said. They tell them they're better than the grown-ups. They tell them only they deserve to know the truth. What truth? The major asked. The one where the world was broken on purpose, Mia said. The truth that gives them a role. Ames didn't blink. Purpose makes recruits, she said. It makes leaders, Mia said. If purpose is clean. Alpha Team, the radio crackled. Truck 2 at the gate stopped, passenger out. He looks lost. He's placing something on the ground. What? The colonel asked. Package, the voice said. Small, Ames nodded once. Bomb squad. Wait, Mia said. Her voice cut the room and turned heads. Watch his hands, they watched the kid's hands. Left hand trembled. Right hand placed the package with care. Like it mattered to him that the package not be harmed. He stepped back 3 paces. He looked at the fence, not the gate. He mouthed a word she could read. Sorry, Mia said. Sorry? The colonel asked. Ames glanced at Mia. You think he's signaling? He's asking to be stopped, Mia said. He's been told the package is a protest. That nobody will be harmed. He wants to believe that. He doesn't. Alpha Team, Ames said into the radio, voice a wire. Intercept without lethal force. Disrupt package if safe. Use the kit. Acknowledged, the major relayed. Mia stared at the screen. The kid's watch flashed when he turned. It wasn't broken. It was digital, blinking at some countdown he pretended not to see. She lifted her own wrist. 7 and 13 stared back. The team moved in. 2 figures over the gravel, slow, patient, one spoke. The kid shook his head, his right hand lifted. For a heartbeat, the base watched a boy argue with a ghost only he could see. Then he ran. Do not chase him out, Mia said. He wants to pull you from the package. He thinks distance equals safety. What if he gets away? The colonel asked. He's not leaving, she said. He doesn't have anywhere to go. On the screen, the boy faltered. He glanced back at the package. He glanced at the fence. He stumbled and dropped to his knees. His hands covered his ears. Why? The major whispered. Because something is speaking in there, Mia said. And it's too loud. The sapper's hands blurred. The kit opened like a flower. The package, smaller than a book, gave up a whisper of smoke. The sapper cut a wire, another, a sigh, a click. The screen turned white. For half a breath, the base disappeared. Then the image returned, but the scene was gone. What happened? Ames asked. Alpha team? The major shouted into the radio, static, then a voice thin and wild. We're good. It was a flash and a burst, non-lethal. EMP slug popped our optics. The kid's down, conscious, crying, package disabled. The colonel swore softly. We've been blind for 7 minutes. Exactly 7, Mia said. She looked at her watch. Source 713 still stared back, but her finger pressed the glass as if she could will it to move. Someone measured this. Someone wanted to see how we move without screens. And, Ames said, and now they know, Mia said. And they're not done. The radio squawked again. A different voice. The gate captain. Scared to sound scared. Ops 2, this is Gate, we got a visitor. Says she's expected. Says she's your new, liaison. Name? Ames asked. Morgan Bray, the voice said. Civilian. Claims she's the colonel's sister. The colonel went pale. I don't have a sister. Mia touched the bracelet on the table. She thought of the missing bead. If you thought tonight was the test, she said, that was only the invitation. Ames stared at the radio. Put her through. And the voice that answered didn't ask to enter. It told them why it already had. Her voice was smooth the way glass is smooth, right up until you touch the edge. Good evening. Director, the woman said as if they'd spoken before. I like your base, very tidy, very predictable. This is Deputy Director Ames, Ames said. You are not authorized to. Names are such small fences, the woman said. Use mine if it helps, Morgan. Morgan what? The colonel asked. Names break apart in the right range, she said. Call me Morgan. Call me the person who just saved your Alpha team's eyesight. A pause, light as a match. You're welcome. Mia kept silent. The way a sniper breathes before the shot. Observe name patterns. Save conclusions for the last possible moment. What do you want? Ames asked. A conversation, Morgan said. In person. 10 minutes, no phones. No recordings. You came to a base that doesn't let people in, the colonel said. I didn't come in, she said. I came close enough to see who walks to the fence when the lights go out. Today it was a boy. Tomorrow it will be someone who files forms. In a week it's someone who writes policies. We don't negotiate with, the colonel began. With what? Morgan asked. Words, ideas. I'm not a bomb. I'm not a truck. I'm a hypothesis with legs. Don't worry. I'll wait by the sign, the one that says you can't enter here. Her voice smiled. It suits me. The radio clicked dead. The room breathed. Arrest her, the colonel said. On whose testimony? Ames asked. The gate captain who met a name behind a voice? On mine, the colonel said. She wants that, Mia said. If we drag her in, she'll act like a martyr. The ones watching will frame the video. The ones watching? The major asked. The people whose small favors got us here, Mia said. They're scared. They're proud. They have a word for themselves that makes them feel less alone. What word? Ames asked. Bound, Mia said. Bound, the colonel repeated. Bound to the truth. Bound to one another. Bound to nothing you can see, Mia said. They like double meanings. How do you know? Ames asked. Mia slid the chat log across the table. She traced one phrase with her finger. The boy used it. The recruiter used it back. Repetition is a hand on a shoulder. The major tapped a pencil. He did it 3 times, paused, 2 times, paused, 3 times. Same as the boy. He noticed himself doing it. He stopped and flushed. You're not infected, Mia said. You're human. Enough, the colonel said. He hit the intercom. I want a cordon at the gate, drones up. Patrols on foot, Ames raised a hand. The room stilled. We'll meet her, Ames said. The colonel stared. Director, and we are not afraid of a conversation, Ames said. But we control the space. Mia nodded. A place with 1 door and 2 corners. She wants an open field. Give her a room that doesn't echo. The brig? The major asked. No, Mia said. Make it informal. Fear makes cowards. Overconfidence makes fools. Neither helps us understand her. Ames considered. The debrief hut by the motor pool. The colonel grimaced. It smells like diesel. Good, Mia said. Truth smells like something. They moved as if the floor might break if they stepped too hard. Outside, the night had settled into its shape. The dusty road lay quiet again, as if it had not just been a stage. The wind had shifted. It brought the faint scent of sage from the scrub beyond the perimeter. At the gate, a woman waited under the sign. She wore a gray coat with a collar that didn't decide what century it belonged to. Her hair was short. Her shoes were practical. She held nothing. That was part of the theater. People who hold nothing promise that they need nothing. Ms. Morgan, Ames said. Director, Morgan said, as if she'd held the title and found it light. I'm Mia, Mia said. Morgan's eyes moved to the broken watch. Good, she said softly. You kept it. Mia didn't ask how she knew. She could guess.